Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about a library in C++ that we can use to bring in additional math functions to our C++ code. I want to briefly talk about what a library is, how we add this library to our C++ code, and how to use the library. Well, to begin, what is a library in C++? A library is essentially a package of code that we can call by using header files. So, a way to think of C++ libraries is, well, like a library. For every library we add to our C++ code, our compiler has more resources to use. Think of this like adding more bookshelves to our C++ information storage. To add the cmath library to our C++ code, we add the header cmath like so at the top of our C++ code, and this will give us access to tons of math functions. Now that we have an idea of how to add the cmath library to our C++ code, let's go through a ton of examples and show you a lot of the cool things that you can do with this library. Firstly, we have access to all of our trigonometric functions. So, let's just say that we are interested in all of the trig values of 0.5. Well, let's begin by assigning a double value of 0.5. Remember, floats and doubles are the data types used to initialize and store numbers with decimals. Now, we can just output the sine, cos, and tan of our value variable like so. Additionally, you can compute the inverse trigonometric functions and the hyperbolic trigonometric functions like so. In addition to the trig functions, we can also perform squared and cubed roots using the square root and cubed root functions like so. Likewise, logarithms are also in the cmath library. So, by putting the log function here, we will get the log of our value. We also have access to a round function, which will round your decimal place up if you're above or equal to 0.5, or will round down your number if it is anything less than 0.5. This should be clear when I build these two lines of code here. With the cmath library, we also have access to power functions. So, by saying pow and entering two numbers, the first being the base and the second being the exponent, we get the base to the exponent printed to us. Lastly, I just want to talk about some different cool functions that we now have access to. Firstly, we have the ceiling and floor functions. The ceiling function will return the next greatest whole number, whereas the floor function will return the next lowest whole number. We can also return the absolute value of a number using the fabs function like so. Now, this next one is really cool. We type hypot and enter two numbers. These two numbers will be the two sides of your right triangle, and the output that this gives will be the hypotenuse. So, it is basically solving Pythagorean's theorem for us by only entering the other two sides of the triangle. The last function I want to mention is the fmod function. This will return the remainder of any division of two numbers. So, if we enter 11, 2, well, 2 fits into 11 5 times, which leaves us with the remainder of 1, and that is what is printed out to us as you can see here. Additionally, in the cmath library, there are also a few comparison functions. For example, let's say we wanted to evaluate if a given number is greater than 0. Well, in cmath, we are given a lot of comparison functions, such as greater than equal, less than, etc. To use them, let's create a variable for our number of interest. Then we need an if statement, and using the comparison function greater than, we can see if our number of interest is larger than, let's say, 0. So, if our number is greater than 0, we print that. Else, meaning it is not larger than 0, we print that. And as you can see here, changing the sign of our number changes the output of this comparison function. There are even more functions and macros in the cmath library than I mentioned in this video. For the remainder of the list, I will post a link in the description below for cplus.com, where you can view the whole list of functions in the cmath library. Thank you for checking out this video, and I hope it helped you learn what libraries are in C++ and lots about the cmath library in particular. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to support the channel. However, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about the information I provided in this video, please leave a comment down below and I will do my best to address your concerns.